208. Everyone has been antsy and giddy about this chapter for a while now. My brain can only assume a few things, none of which I feel like telling you guys right now because you heard me say it in the past. You just got to figure it out. All right, so recap. Fourth wall devoured the otherworld god, the outerworld god, otherworld god, and it was creepy. And we got his mom. That's basically essentially what last chapter was. There was a lot more details and all that stuff, but fourth wall is creepy. I can't think of anything else. 208. Wait, I always forget about this. 208. Here we go. We're on the precipice of something. Great. He's like swimming. She's still alive. Okay. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. But I think I'm still in the outer universe. Why hasn't this area been destroyed yet? Good question. I remember reading how the outer universe was destroyed and Jung-Yak returned to his world after the Eater of Dreams died. Why hasn't that happened yet? Fourth wall, that's why. The fourth wall is looking at you. That's creepy. Why are you looking at me? Could it be? The fourth wall shakes its head with a heavy heart. What do you mean heavy heart? I said that as a joke last week. I said that as a joke. Yo. Joke's on you. I said that as a joke. I literally said fourth wall is going to be like, nope, I'm still hungry, and try to go after Dokcho or his mom. The fourth wall is still hungry. I would tell the fourth wall, don't be greedy, asshole. What are you being greedy for? You know I'm gonna get you something good. I'm good for it. This is the second good meal you done had off of my back. You can't have this one. What's wrong with you? Copacetic. We gotta come to some sort of Jinchuriki Naruto Karama coexistence here. Right? You're not just going to keep controlling everything. Work with me, I work with you. Please. Please. Oh my gosh. The fourth wall began consuming the remains of the outer world. This is insane. It's gonna eat the space that we're in. Why are you acting like this? Why? It's trying to get his mom. Dokcho, do something. Hey, you can't eat her. I think the play would be to jump in there too. That's me. That's my idea, because I still think the fourth wall needs Dokcho in order to like keep experiencing these stories and have these experiences. So if Dokcho were to dive into the fourth wall after his mom, that would would it force the fourth wall to spit him back out? That's my assumption, that it would force the fourth wall to spit him out. I'm just guessing. Fuck! I told you not to eat her. Oh gosh. The fourth wall smiles contently. The fourth wall looks at you and smacks its lips. I'm too tired for all this. I I don't think the fourth wall would eat him, because I think eventually, right? I'm not saying that the fourth wall will never eat Doksha, but I think eventually the fourth wall would eat Doksha, but not now. Right? We just had just two good meals, a third one if we count the mom. We barely got to experience anything really. So I think the fourth wall would ride. I think the fourth wall and Doksha is going to have some sort of relationship akin to Light and Ryuk, where it's like they're not friends or anything. They're not cool. But whenever this ride is nearing its end, the fourth wall is going to be like, come here. Same thing. I feel like it's going to be a similar relationship. I had a lot to ask her. Let me continue. I still had many things I needed answers to. Ooh. Where do the things that the wall consumes go to? That's a good question. That's something I didn't even think of. No living being that was consumed by the wall ever managed to return. That includes the simulation of the theater dungeon, Nirvana the reincarnator, and even the dream eater who was just eaten. These are fire panels, by the way. Give me my mom. Spit her out. Spit her out right now. Spit her back out. I remember. No, I was going to do a Kendrick line. I'm sorry. I remember when I first named the child. Oh, no. 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 Oh, no. Look at his eyes. Oh, no. That's painful. I think I didn't. If she's dead gone, I said this too. I said that this boy probably won't get answers and realize it until she's dead and gone. This isn't the way I wanted to hear that. He wanted to use the letter DOK as in to alone, while I wanted to use the letter DOK as in to read. His eyes were watering. They didn't show him crying, but his eyes were like shaky. Maybe that's when our differences began to surface. I wanted that child to grow up to become a reader rather than someone who is lonely. Because I knew that we could never be lonely as long as we kept reading. That's what I wanted to believe at least. Oh, that's painful. This hurts. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. 208. It's a knife and a bottle of alcohol. What makes you so high and mighty that you always find me so laughable? Don't look down on me like that. There are plenty of women like you out there. Sogyeong, try to forgive him. Think about Doksha. That's just a phase that men go. No, this is nasty. I hate it. Ma'am, I think you should start paying more attention to Doksha. It was hard. Things were so hard for me then that I couldn't afford to think of anything else. But now that I think about it, I'm sure it was just as hard on the child. Doksha, you stay in there, okay? You should never come out until I tell you to. I should have left with him. Wow. No matter what anyone said, I should have took the child with me and left for some faraway place. Why couldn't I do that? Why didn't you? You really should have run away. There's so many stories of victims trying to run away and dying in the process. I feel like I don't have the numbers to back this up, but you always tend to hear more about the tragedies than you do like the actual success stories. It feels like it's 1 in a million. I know that's not the real numbers, but it does. It's like it's just like the effort, the thought process of running away, like it's a way out, but too many times you see that not ending well. Too many times. I don't know. Maybe it's the effort. I don't know. It happened one late evening. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have ended up this way. There's too many times I've seen, like, in portrayals in like manga and manhwa and anime of like relationships like this. Too many times. It's too many times. And it's all like, it echoes the same thing. Like they're all eerily similar. Too many times. It's not good anywhere, but it's just too many times. It's draining. Put down that knife first. Doksha, I told you to stay in your room. Oh my goodness. I'll kill you both, then kill myself. How's that? See? Trying to escape, he probably would have hunted her down. Let's all die together. What's the use of living when there's nothing more to expect in life? We'll die as a family. That's right. Mom ended up stabbing Dad and told me this after she woke me up. Doksha, starting now, we're going to read everything again. What your father did was so bad that he deserved to die. This was self-defense. No matter what happens, never forget that you were the victim. Okay? What's happening? Again. We're going to read. Okay, everything again. Okay, what's happening? Why is everything being distorted and warped? I don't like it. Unless going to read. We're going to read everything again. What am I looking at? did it. He did it. I said that. Wait, I forgot I said that. I forgot I said that. He did it. What is that? No, Toksha. Put that down. Yeah, you goof bastard. He did it. Oh my gosh, he did it. Doksha, starting now, we're going to read everything again. What your father did was so bad that he deserved to die. This was self-defense. Okay? Woo! Heart's thumping right now. Oh, man. Can we read more? Yeah, she took the bullet for him. I get it. I get it. Brother, y'all, this is tragic. This is tragic. This woman's gone through so much. Yeah, this woman's gone through so much. This woman's gone through so much. Nah, that she's been through a lot. They both have, but she went through a lot. Dog, she through and through loved her son, tried to shield him from the abuse as best as possible. This goes down, and took the rap. There's no way. There's no way that she would let her son go down for this. She took that. I think what this all goes down to, and I feel like maybe we might get this clarification later. Damn it, that's not what I wanted to do. Is when she says we're gonna read again, is that like what is she doing there? Like, is she trying to get him to forget? Because we know what she means when she says read again with a different outlook, with a different context. So it's like, is she trying to get him to view what happened in a different light so that he didn't remember it? Like, was she trying to mold him that way so he didn't remember it? Or was this something where, like, this happens, police is called, she gets taken away, she says she killed him, killed her husband, she goes away, and then whenever she meets Doksha and Doksha never brings it up, does she just shut up? Right? This might be one of these things where I want to know what we're going to read again what that means. If she actively was trying to make him, like, was she actively trying to get him to, like, not view this incident, right, as I killed my dad, and more so of this was self-defense, and like walking him through what happened. And he's young and moldable and pliable, like he's able to be molded. He's at a young age. So I think I'm thinking it of a way of, this is what happened, right? What just happened didn't happen. This is what happened. Like, this is what happened, right? We're gonna read this again. This is what happened. We're gonna look at this from a different point of view. We're gonna do, like, I'm thinking of it that way. And by thinking of it that way, she writes the book and says, and basically admits to being, not admits to being a murderer, but tells her side of the story, to take all of the "you're a murderer" off of herself, off of Doksha, I should say. And I don't think, from her point of view, she would have thought that there would have been blowback in the way of, you're the kid of a murderer, and have his life crumble like that. I don't think that's something she even thought about. I think this was more so of I don't want him to get this, right? Repressed memory. This is repressed memory. These things happen. I'm 1000% certain I have repressed memories. I feel like I do. There's a lot of my childhood I don't remember. So I'm like, and it takes I'm been experiencing this like the last year with my family, but it takes like certain things, like you will if something is traumatic enough, your brain will be like, you know what, no, we're not going to remember this, and we'll block it away from your consciousness. You won't remember it. It will be something that's just locked away. You might have fallout and issues because of this event, but you won't remember it. And then there might be something that happens that triggers it, and you remember. It's like gaining awareness, like those memes that go around when a kid gains awareness, like, I'm alive. Like, it's like that moment where it just comes back. It's a very real thing. It's a very, very real thing. Just look it up. Repressed memories. I think the reason why she never brought it up is because she never wanted him to think about it. Yeah, I just think it's one of those things where I never want him to even think about this ever again. Never. You have a memory, other people remember it completely different. Yeah. It's like, I think that's one of these things. She's like, I'll never bring this up again. With this being the outcome, that I can't villainize her. I can't villainize her at all. Everything that I felt before about her, I just feel like, unless next chapter completely throws a knuckleball and everything gets unwritten, I can't. Everything I said before, I like 100% stand by now. I don't fault her. I don't. Even the way of like what she did, how, I can't fault her for it. I cannot. Through and through, she was a mother protecting her child in everything that she did. And it's just, she did everything to make sure that Doksha never got caught for this. She did everything. She did everything she could. And Doksha's life being hell is what is the word I'm looking for? It is it's backlash, unexpected backlash. That's what I'm looking for. His life being a hell because of everything that his mom did was unexpected backlash. Like, sitting here right now, if I had a child and some crazy event happened, an abusive relationship, and my child accidentally kills my significant other, and I take the rap for it and go down and do these things, I don't think the thought of, like, one, she, like, something that cannot be looked over. She was an abused woman, right? She was an abused woman. Her child was abused. And it took until this man actually said, I'm going to kill all of us. I'm going to murder suicide my whole family. I'm going to kill everyone, for her to be like, no, you're not. And then try to do it, and then he smacks a knife out of her hand and starts and is beating her more. Like, she got pushed to the limit and tried to do something and failed. And then Doksha picks up the knife, and then the goof slips on the bottle. It's like, she's like, her mindset, you can see it in her face. She, like, to be in a situation where killing someone is the only thing that comes to mind, right? It's even to the point where she's like, and it's hard to even know what the mindset of someone that is an abuse victim, what they go through. Because she's married to this man, she has a kid for him, they do all these things, he beats her, all these things. And even she's like, why didn't I run away? Why didn't I? One of these things, just ask the question. If you ask someone that was in an abusive relationship and you ask them, well, why didn't you leave? The answers they give you to someone that isn't in that situation seem insane. It just seems crazy. Like, this person's beating you. Why aren't you leaving? In some situations, they can't leave. In some situations, they've been manipulated and brainwashed to a point where they think leaving is bad. What's happening is good. So it's like, even she can't even answer it. She's like, why didn't I leave? Like, why didn't I leave? I should have just took my son and run. Why didn't I? She can't think of anything. Why couldn't I? She couldn't, even though we know the dad is insane and probably would hunt her down if she, or chase her down if she tried to run away. That's not even a response, right? Her, like, it's not, when she says, why didn't I run away? It's not like she thought of, maybe he would have got me. She didn't even think of that. She was like, I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea why I didn't run away. I should have. It just didn't come to fruition. Like, to feel trapped, to be abused, to be beat, to watch your child be beat, to having people at school telling you, you don't pay attention to your child. I'm doing everything in my power to keep my child alive. The teacher's telling her that you're not paying attention to your son. Lady, it's life or death in our house every day. Yes, I am. The only reason why I'm living is for that boy. What are you talking about? But she can't open her mouth and say that. Old lady's like, oh, she's beaten and bruised, went to the old lady and talked to her. He'll grow out of it. He'll grow out of it. No, the fuck he won't. Like, no, he won't. It's just, oh my gosh. Oh. Narrative flipping from Doksha thinking his mother selfishly killed his father and then published a book to make a profit off of the murder, to Doksha killing his father and his mother doing everything she could to remove all the blame off her son and take on herself, blaming his mother all this time would tear anybody apart. When that old lady told her to endure it, what do you mean? You could have helped her. I think, and what Alvaro was saying, it's different everywhere. Every country, every culture has different ways they deal about it. I know here in the States, you could go to the police and be like, I'm being beat. and they'll send you back home. Oh, the best we could do for you is a restraining order. And then he kicks the door in and does whatever he wants to anyways, and you guys don't show up. I call you 4 or 5 times and you guys can't do anything about it because you didn't see it. Right? Stuff like that. It's just, it varies so differently. You have that, and then you'll have situations where it's like, it'll happen once, they'll take both people to jail. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I stand by everything I said about that lady. I just felt the way. I was like, unless this series is gonna throw me some crazy curveball where she, and funny enough, I said like 3 different things of what happened, and all 3 of them were, I said that she probably brainwashed her son. Like, it would be crazy if she brainwashed Doksha into not remembering what happened. I said that I said at one point that plot twist, what if Doksha was the one that killed his dad? And I always stood by that. I was like, she's just a unfortunate person in this situation. She's a battered woman in this situation. And it's just all of these things that ended up happening. It's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Tough, man. I stand by everything I said about her. I'm sitting here, I'm like, dog, I want to roll it back. I want to roll back some of this stuff. But it's like, I can't. But it's just like, I feel like for every question that Doksha had, knowing the truth answers them. Besides the running away one. The series hasn't given us a justification for running away, right? But me, using my real world knowledge and experiences, I get why she didn't run away. It's just something that never crossed her mind. Should it have? Could it have? Should have. You would have hoped that it would have. But in situations like that, it's pretty normal for it never to have crossed their mind. Or to have crossed their mind and then be like, no. Or just not act on it. Any of those other things. And everything, all the other questions that Doksha asks, I think if she answers Doksha's questions, he remembers. That's the thing. That's why I feel like she never answered. Any of the questions that he really wanted answered, if she answered them, he would remember. And I think she might have, I don't know. I think she might have known that Doksha didn't remember. Because of maybe how he like spoke about it, the little glimpses of his mind that she got to see, she could be like, he doesn't, if he does remember, he's not talking about it. But maybe he doesn't remember. And I just, anytime I see the boy, I'll just let him talk about whatever he wants to talk about. I don't want to bring up anything that would make him remember. Man, doesn't make it not misogyny. It's just an individual versus societal level issue. There's ongoing stuff over there as well to hear about. Misogyny in Korea. It's so mind-boggling. It's insane, man. I feel so bad for the both of them. I feel so bad. Because Doksha spent his whole life hating her. I said that, and I said it would be painful too. That he wouldn't learn the truth and get her side of the story and realize it until she's dead and gone. She still could come back, I don't know. But how it seems right now, she's gone. And it would tear him apart because it would be too little too late. he would never have a chance to be able to look his mother in the eye again. Never. He never would be able to do that. And understand that I don't like being right sometimes, right? Just for my own sake. Feel there's a part of Doksha that remembers. Absolutely. Maybe that's why he acted extra touchy about the subject, because part of him was sure about what actually happened. Maybe unconsciously. Maybe. TWSA was Doksha's way of survival to deal with the loss of his dad and his mom going to jail. That probably helped with the memory suppression. The saddest thing is that both mother and son were just in the conflict as victims. Yeah. Pleasant distraction. Yeah. Also, individuals don't exist in a vacuum, and the lack of support shown makes it not just an individual thing. I agree with that. The father just spent his life being a drunkard instead of talking it out with his wife and think how to solve their debt. He's lower than that. Even then, Ron, we can still antagonize her. She didn't look from when she was released, an age where he needed her the most. So he kind of, I still don't know when she got out of jail. I don't know how old he was when she got out of jail. That has not been stated yet in the series, I don't think. So I can't say that. And what did she say? What did she say a couple of chapters ago? Where it was like, what did she said something a couple of chapters ago, didn't she? About maybe I should have went to see him. But then, like, would that just be selfish of me to want to see him? What if he doesn't want to see me? We can assume that she's been out around a year. I think Doksha acts the same way that he acted whenever he first ran across her, if she were to show up. I think the same thing happens. I think he copes and doesn't want to listen to her. Right? I don't. Yeah. I don't know. I'm finding it tough to antagonize her. I am. I'm finding it tough. All of this just feels like a big ass case of unfortunate outcomes. That's all this is. It's two individuals that are just stuck in an unfortunate situation that they didn't ask to be in. That's why I'm having a hard time now even antagonizing her. It's like, yeah, maybe she should have went to him, and we know that she thought about it. So at least she thought about it, but then she's just like, I'm trying to think from her perspective of imagine protecting your son, going to jail, doing all these things, thinking you're looking out for him, you are looking out for him, only to find out that he hates you. And then you just take that. Right? She just took it. She just took it because she understood in a way. Not really, but she got it. As long as things went the way that she somehow navigated, it was fine. Right? It was fine. Right? So it's one of those things. I don't know. I find it hard. It's huge. It's a huge case of just unfortunate situations. He visited. I genuinely think that she didn't talk because I don't think she wanted to risk him remembering. I genuinely think because Doksha had questions, and all of his questions would have led back to talking about what happened. And bro, look at, like, Imagine him having this psychosis break as a teenager. Imagine that. Make sure hear me. Yeah. Look up Korea law on for killing your father. Actually, almost 10 years jail time compared to a mother that would be 5 years. That'd be a while. Don't know if it's accurate. Like, what do you do in a situation like theirs? Running away could go terribly wrong. No one around her. Like, running away could yield her and Doksha being killed. Staying in the house clearly was yielding that he was going to eventually get to the point of killing them. She couldn't turn. She turned. It seems like she turned the help, and the help said, "Stay." And everyone, like anywhere else that she goes in public, they tell her she's doing a terrible job as a mom. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. Yeah, that's a good point too. Running away might have gotten her arrested for kidnapping, possibly. Actually, especially if we like seeing how it seems like these dudes get away with highway murder. What if he was like, my wife ran away and took my child away from me? Right? Like what if? Like what if he says something like that and they just take her to jail, and now Doksha's stuck with this guy whooping his ass? I don't know. That's why I'm like, these are two individuals that did not ask to be in this situation, and they're stuck in this situation. And the mom made a messy way to get out of it when it was too late. Correction. She made a way that became messy. Correction. She made a way. She found a way that became messy. Because, again, seeing like getting the truth now, Doksha going through everything that he went through is just unforeseen. It's just unforeseen. Like, this is like, I don't know. School's weird, but kids are weird. But people finding out who Doksha is and antagonizing him because he's the kid of a murderer, right? He's a kid of, that's just weird behavior. Like, you're the kid of a murderer. Dude, I was a kid. I was a child when this happened. Why are you trying to come after me as if, and like, look at that, like, imagine what his mental would have been if he would have remembered. Somehow it maybe went to some juvenile detention center, had all these people hating on him because he's a kid murderer and all these things. It's a bunch of unfortunate situations. Any time of learning the truth would have been traumatic for Doksha. That's what I'm saying. It's like if he, like, imagine he learned this truth in the midst of like this book coming out. Like, imagine, like, instead of him growing hatred towards his mom for writing this book and profiting off of his trauma, what if it would have been like, wait, mom didn't, like, what if he would have remembered and been like, no, I actually killed dad. And in the midst of high school while all this is going on, he would have lost his mind. I'll sit here and say it. He's already out of his mind. He would have legit lost his mind. Absolutely, he would have. That's what I'm saying. He would have legit lost his mind. Because imagine if he actually remembers what happened. Instantly, he's gonna feel guilty because his mom's in jail, and he knows that his mom is trying to keep all of this off of him. Instant guilt. And then the guilt that I actually killed my dad. I actually did it. Even though he was a piece of trash, I killed my dad. Like, and then stack all of that on top of it. Bro, he's losing his mind. 1000%. It's gone. His mind is gone. His mind is gone. His mind is gone. His mom's gone. His mind's gone. Dad killed, mom in jail, became an orphan, getting bullied at school. Doksha became what his father wanted his name is. Lonely. Wow. Yeah. And guess who did it? He wanted to name him that, and through his actions caused the chain event for all these things to happen, and it ended up happening. It's crazy. I wonder what happened to Doksha if the scenarios didn't start. Dude, I say is literally his lifeline at this point. It reached the last chapter. That's it's maybe he would have reread it again. Maybe he would have reread it again, or maybe he just spirals out, and maybe his mom works the courage up to visit him. There's so many different options. I don't know. It's tragic though. It's tragic. This was what I was gonna ask novel readers. Now's your chance. Did Doksha really live a hell because of the son? Wait, my eyes. Did Doksha really live a hell because of the son of a murderer? I mean, adults, not just the bullies in the world. Or is that he was so depressed? What do you mean? I think his entire life was, I don't know. It feels like killing his dad is a canon event. Right? It's a canon event. There's no getting around that. Thinking back on Doksha, we met in the subway station, not knowing all of his trauma he had tucked away behind this, I'm just, yes. There's a lot. There's a ton packed in that brain. Excuse me. It's insane, man. I'm finding it so hard to like villainize her. I really am. I'm really sitting here trying to think. Like what did she do that I can't justify in a way, right? Just speaking from me. I feel like everything that she did post going to jail, I can justify it. Now knowing the truth. Now knowing the truth, I can justify it. I really can. I really can. Especially now, because I was just working off of the fact, not off of the fact. I was working off of my own understanding of like abuse victims and how they think, and applying that to her. Like there could have been some crazy like plot twist where she was the predator in all this, right? Where she premeditated killing her husband and he wasn't that bad of a guy, something like that, and she brainwashed Doksha to remember something else. But I was taking her at face value. Even more so after seeing, I can't remember the lady's name, the one that Doksha talked to. That's kind of like her right hand man. Like, especially after like hearing her like, but you don't know. And the mom was like, don't even worry about it, right? Don't even like, don't stress that. Like getting that, I'm just like, dog, I really took her at face value. I did. I took her at face value. Or I took, not even at face value. I took her at this, what I applied onto her. And I was like, she's doing this legit because she loves her son. It felt weird. Especially whenever she was like, I love you. It's just like, I'm like, Doksha's a child, like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. They act so similar. Because they've both, and it's just like, they act so similar because they've both been through traumatic things. He thinks the way she thinks because she raised him to think the way she thought. She raised him that way. Through and through, he is just like her. And even the way that their responses to trauma seemingly was like all this time later, like they respond the same way. They have the same snarky attitude. They dismiss things whenever they don't want to talk about them. All these things. So it's just tough. It's just tough. It's tough to have done all of this for a child that hates you, but she still loves him. And the fact that he didn't go through what she went through with the jail and all that stuff, and didn't, she's happy with that. Everything, all the stuff that he went through is just unforeseen. And I do think if she actively tried to like talk to him, I do think he remembers. And I do think it undoes a lot of the things that she tried to do and set up. I do. I do. I think he remembers. If they have a close relationship, I think he remembers. I think if they continue to have that close relationship, I think he remembers. I think it's the fact that he dissociated and wasn't with his mom. Right? Yeah. I think you're right with that, Lachi. How you worded that. Better than how I worded it. Yeah. She knows that the truth would destroy him. So if he can live on not knowing the truth, she can act the role. She can act the role that she needs to be in his life if it means he continues living. So is he traumatized? Yeah. Is he going through a lot? Yeah. But is he free? That's I'm like I said way a long time ago. She's playing the role that he put her in. He placed her in this role, and she willingly stepped into it. And she played the role. Right? And she played the role. And yeah, and she did try to tell him, and he wasn't having it either. No, I don't think in jail there's no way she could have told him the truth. That case is opening back up. There's no way she tells him that. And he had all those questions when he was younger. All the questions that he needed answers to was when he was younger and when she was in jail. And she couldn't answer them because answering them would have her, to give him the answers he wanted, she would have to tell the truth. And she couldn't tell the truth because she was in jail on a lie. So she couldn't answer them. So it could be by the time she got out of jail, damage was done. He didn't need the answers anymore because he answered them already. He said that. He's like, she didn't answer them, so I answered them. She couldn't answer them. If she answered them, if she answers the questions, they undo everything. They absolutely undo everything that she's done. And she had to maintain the lie, yeah. There's also that Doksha didn't know that she was out of jail until they met during the scenarios. So there had to be a point in time that he just stopped visiting. Who knows if she even knew where he was when she got out. And if she found him, would she just casually stroll back into his life when they haven't been talking for who knows how long, right? She's quite right. Oh, chat's moving. She's quite right on Doksha would be broken. His state right now when he found out the truth he doesn't look okay right now. He doesn't look fine right now. So imagine like him being younger. It's kind of on memory suppressing. Game on audio. If you've seen it, I have not. By the way, guys, we're discovering a retreat. Don't you dare go. Okay, I won't go. And Doksha stopped visiting her after his military service ended. So 2 years, right? You have to be in the military for 2 years. Is that correct? 2 years mandatory. So he would have been 20. Right? He would have been 20 when he stopped visiting her. And how old was he at the start of the series? But she can't make an excuse. Hold on. But she can't make an excuse like that. She shouldn't have left her son alone. Doksha said that he only wanted. Doksha said that he only wanted to hear the word that she is with him, that he is not alone. I think this might be the best chapter of Omniscient Reader. Yeah, absolutely tragic. Yeah, I say that to himself. He didn't say that to her. He said that to himself. Yes, if I'm remembering correctly. 28 or 29. So it's been 8 years since possibly the last time he's seen her. 10 years since possibly the last time he's seen her. He saw her up to 18. And then he went to the military, came out, and he never went back to see her again. Because we know he was visiting her in like middle school, high school-ish because of his uniform. But high school. But we don't know anything about him visiting post high school. So it could have been graduated, went to the military, got out, screw her, I'm not going to visit her. Okay, it's only 2 months have passed, so it's about 10 years since he's seen her. But she can't make an excuse like that. She shouldn't have left her son alone. Doksha said that he only wanted to hear the word that she's with him. He's not alone. I know that Doksha wrote questions down. And I know that he wrote down why, like, I think he wrote down, why didn't you take me? Like, why didn't you run away with me? And she, and some other questions she didn't answer. I don't remember all of them that we learned of. But there was a few questions that he asked and she didn't answer. I think if you wanted to hang something on her for that, I would say, okay, yeah. But in my brain, I'm like, in my brain, I'm like, she probably doesn't even want to risk bringing anything up. As crazy as that sounds. As crazy as it sounds, especially because you have to think. I would assume, right? This is my assumption. I don't know how due process works in Korea. But I would assume that she would have had to have called the authorities. She would have been taken in for killing her husband. Doksha's a child, yes, but I would assume that Doksha would have been questioned too. And clearly from his mom being in jail, Doksha's story lined up with her story. And that story being, he was beating me, and out of self-defense, I killed him. That had to, like, clearly, because she's in jail for killing her husband. That had to be the story if they questioned Doksha that he spit back out to him. So if Kid Doksha did that and said that, would you risk talking to him about the truth? I don't know. Right? It's like, would you risk that? Would you risk trying to talk to him about anything? That's why I'm like, she probably just didn't say anything to him about this because I don't want to risk this boy having a mental breakdown and then him. What's better, a complete silence or a quick "I'm with you"? Dude, sitting here, a quick "I'm with you" would be good. But what would that have done? I don't know. Like, what? Oh my gosh. I don't know. It's like, I hear you. I do. I hear you. Here, communicate with him, but she didn't, which further split them in Doksha's resentment. That being said, I understand it's just both are important, yeah. And she's not mentally stable either. That's the thing to remember. She's not mentally stable either. The thread that Doksha's hanging on by, she's hanging on by too. Matter of fact, she snapped. It's a matter of fact that she snapped. Not even like she's hanging on by a thread. She actually snapped. I don't know. She actually snapped. She actually was like, I can't take this anymore. I'm gonna kill you. You said you say you're gonna kill me and my son? I'm killing you. She snapped. She went to kill him. She failed, but she went to do it. I don't know. It's a tough one. So it's like she's not mentally stable either. So I'm like, me with no serious mental issues, yes, I think that's the right thing to say. But stack everything that she's going through while she's sitting there, that's just something that could have not crossed her mind. It sounds crazy, but it's just something that just could have never crossed her mind. Or she could have been, like, put it this way, she could have been so deathly afraid that at any point in time, this whole thing could go up in flames. Because everything just went up in flames. Right? She didn't try to kill him. She was trying to disarm him. Then Doksha picked up the knife. That's right. So it's like they're both hanging on to the same thread. They're both hanging on to, yeah, she did try to disarm him. Because whenever it did the weird, you see this right here. Because he had the bottle and the knife in his hand. You guys are right. Right. This is creepy, by the way. This was creepy as hell. Yeah, it was this, where it's like how he remembered it. The knife was in her hand. But then they showed her again. Where is it? They showed her again. Where is it? And there was no knife in her hand. Right? Where is it? Where is it? Show me it. Here, right here. They show her again, and there is no knife in her hand. The knife is in his hand. And he's like, what the hell's going on? Yeah, so. This dumb fell on the knife. Sometimes the best thing is to say nothing at all. Blank's devil advocate. Sometimes the best thing to say is nothing at all. Playing devil's advocate is really easy for these two. Yeah, it is. Paneling is really cool. Images distorting was the fastest way to show how the memories had been distorted and twisted to fit his recollection. Tragic, man. Tragic. Absolutely tragic. This is crazy. We've been here for an hour and 11 minutes. Oh, what a chapter. $11. I saw what you said. I saw both times when you said this, Lachi, sorry. How do you think he'll be after this? My initial thought chapters ago, whenever I said that, whenever I said Doksha, whenever he finds out what would happen, it would take him a minute to build himself back up. Right now, Doksha is in a place that is outside of the scenarios, right? He's not involved in the scenario, so especially being in the 9th scenario, being on like the demon's floor, whatever it's called, he's in a place where he's not bound by time. Like, until we complete this, we could just stay here. So I could see him being broken up by this, and him taking a minute, right? Taking a minute by himself working through this to get to a point, maybe. Or maybe he just tries to repress it all again, right? Maybe he tries to stuff all this back in and tries not to deal with it. It's not good, but it's a Doksha thing to do. But I could see us taking advantage of the fact that right now he's not really around anybody. He's not really around anyone. So depending on what happens to this, the universe place, the outer world, because it hasn't been destroyed, maybe we're stuck here for a while. Maybe we go down memory lane for a little longer. Maybe we search through our feeling. I don't know. There's so many different things. Maybe there's some weird way he could talk to his mom or get more than just this story, stuff like that. I don't know. Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I do remember that. I do remember that. When chapters ago, when someone mentioned Doksha as the one who killed their father, foreshadowed. I do remember that because I remember I was a couple chapters ago, and I like paused. Right, I paused and I was like, "Does that mean what I think it's supposed to mean?" And everybody was like, "No, mistranslation." I'm like, "Okay," and then I stopped again. But what if? And then you said, "No," and I kept going. I let it go. I remember that. I totally remember that. Oh, I totally remember that. Everybody, every single person was like, mistranslation. Y'all all got the memo. Everyone was like, mistranslation. Oh, no. Oh, man. That's funny. Go back, it says more. Which chapter was it? Also, people saw people pointing out that the myth constellations wanted to give him involved patricide. Lightning Carnival. Oh, wow. Yeah, chat clutched up for that one. Everybody was on the same timing, like no. Because I was ready to die. I remember I was like, yo, I'm about to go crazy. I don't think I would have read the rest of the chapter. I just would have been talking about that. That I remember that clearly. Yeah, why do you think Oedipus was so interested in him? Crazy. It makes so much sense now. So much context from learning this. I agree. When Lachi said, I want to read all the Omniscient Reader again. Now knowing this information, I think the whole beginning of the series makes way more sense. It makes so much more sense because I didn't like him. I didn't like Doksha at the beginning of the series. I didn't like him. It took me like 20, 25, 30 chapters to kinda like him. I didn't like him. And with all of this context, I feel like I'd be like, oh wow. Oh my goodness. There's Oedipus. Oh my gosh. So many hints. It's crazy. Dog, this series be writing. What's the rumor? What's the rumor for the anime on this? That Ufotable has it? That's the latest rumor, right? I don't believe it because all the rumors either say Mappa or Ufotable gets it. Right? All the rumor mongers, they all say that. That's why I don't listen to the rumors. I only wait for the official announcement. If Ufotable gets it, then because right now, too good to be true. That's why I'm not believing it. But if we want to entertain it for a hot second, Ufotable's. I don't think Ufotable's working on too much right now. They are going to be finishing up Demon Slayer over the course of the next 3 to 4 years, I would say. Well, that's if the rumors of them doing 3 movies are going to be true, which I don't think is the best idea. Them doing 3 movies isn't the best idea, but go for it, whatever. So that has the 3 movies been confirmed for Demon Slayer, or is that just rumor stuff? That's unconfirmed, right? Heard A1 was gonna do it and I wanted to cry. They're working on the Genshin project, but I think that Genshin project, one, I think Heyo is going to give Ufotable that unlimited budget that they work with. I think Heyo is going to give them everything. So I think that's going to be like a that's going to be like how Dragon Ball Daima is coming to be. Dragon Ball Daima has had 3 years of pre-production. Most series have less than 1 year. 6 months is good. A year is like, wow, we're really getting a year to work on this. Daima has 3. The Genshin series is going to be one of those where it's like 2 or 3 years of pre-production, and it's probably going to be the best looking thing that we've ever seen. They are going to go crazy with that. So that's one where it's just like them working on Genshin. They have the budget, they have the time. I'd like that's already been established. They got that knocked out. Like that's buttoned up. I don't think they're gonna have production issues with that one. If they do, then they just dumb. But I don't think they're gonna have any production issues with that, because they're gonna have that mapped in. But there's still that Dragon series that they like teased last year that they're working on. Demon Slayer. I don't know if they have any Fate projects. I do know they do like the Tsukimichi. What's the name of that Fate? The Nasu verse. It starts with a T. I know they're working on something related to that. But all that stuff, none of that stuff. Tsukihime, there we go. None of that stuff has dates. Everything they're working on has no date. So it's hard to say. Enough. But A1 did good with solo leveling. It's clear whenever A1 gets a series, if that series has budget and if it doesn't, because A1 killed one of my favorite series. I'll never forgive them for it. Even though they've done a good job with series after that, they killed Taizai, so they could kiss my ass. I know Ufotable has been talking about adapting a manga, so people are inferring that it's Omniscient Reader since there's been talks about Omniscient Reader. I would hope they get Omniscient Reader, because Fate is one of those funky series with crazy lore and all that stuff, and all the Fate fans seem to like it whenever they do it. So I would hope that a series that is this big brain and this deep, that they would get a team that would actually take care of it. Because if Ufotable gets this series and they do the damn thing, brother, what? That's a dream come true. That's a dream come true. If Ufotable does the Ufotable thing, you realize that we're talking about like this series catapulting into becoming one of the most popular manhwa, right? If it doesn't get done like God Eater, if it gets like the Demon Slayer treatment, where it's like we take this series that was popular, but it wasn't more popular than all the bigger names that was next to it in the magazine, and this anime comes out and it instantly becomes one of the highest selling things ever. You do if they do that, you do realize like Omniscient Reader now is on the same level as Solo Leveling, and with it's up there now. It would instantly catapult it. That's why I'm like, I don't want to believe it. Like, until they announce that Ufotable has it, I don't even want to think about that, because it completely changes this. It completely changes what this series becomes now. Because it becomes from it's popular, but not a lot of people know about it, to everyone knows about it. And that's what it becomes. That's what it becomes. That's it. That's what it becomes if Ufotable has it. Everyone knows about it now. And even if they don't understand the story, people are going to watch it because it looks good. Everyone's going to know about it. It's going to completely change everything. That's why I don't even want to think about Ufotable having it. I don't want to think about it. I don't. White Fox, although I don't know the art style they could do it, they are one of the most passionate when doing shows. Maybe. I think a good studio for Omniscient Reader. I don't even know. Thoughts on a live action movie series? Is this a live action movie series? I didn't know that. Fuck. Think about all the episode writers might have to get briefed. Yeah. This is one where it's like, if this gets greenlit, you have to, the people that are working on the series, the writers anyway, they have to know everything about it. They probably would have to read this whole damn novel multiple times. Multiple people have to read it in order for this adaptation to work right. Insane. Mugen Train's movie sales were nutty. Yeah, insane. K-drama, I had no idea. Yeah, I just hope that they get a good production team. That's it. I hope they get a good production team. I just want the way I like how Solo Leveling was done. I think, if anything, I want Omniscient Reader to be treated in the same regard that Solo Leveling was. I just want it to be treated in the same regard that Solo Leveling was. That's it. Because Omniscient Reader has everything that would get the casual person to pay attention to it. It has everything. And then it has the deep storytelling too. To intrigue people. It has everything. It checks every box. So if it's just treated the way that it should be, I think it'll be fine. That's it. That's it. It's like the way that I always point to 86, because 86 is one of my favorite series that I've ever watched. 86 is incredible. A1 did 86 too. But it was clear that it was clear that 86 had budget. It was clear, and it was clear that the team that worked on it liked 86. So that's it. If you could get a team that loves their series and works on their series like 86, I'll always recommend 86. I always will. If you get a team that does that, because it's very few series that I know where light novel readers would be like, yes, there are things that are cut, there are characters that appear, but they really don't have much to do, and there's so much more for them to do in the light novel. But how tasteful they treat the characters and how they adapt this, like I've never seen a more satisfied fan base with their adaptation. I never have. It's the weirdest thing. It's the only series that I had continuous interaction with about their series, and they didn't spoil it, and they were happy with what was being adapted. And a lot of them said that scenes in the anime enhanced what it would have been in the light novel. It was more enhanced. So I'm like, if I could just get that adaptation for all of the things I love, please. I just want that adaptation for everything. While we're at it, give me that adaptation for Tokyo Ghoul, please. Please. Can we not try to do 80 chapters in 13? Can we not try to adapt 171 chapters into 24 episodes? Thank you. I think in the anime, they may be able to adapt more character moments. I remember some novel readers, they skip some interactions, even though the webtoon adaptation is good. I think it would just be smart to adapt the webtoon. It would be smart to adapt the webtoon. And if you have the opportunity to add some light novel stuff, you add it. That's I feel like I would adapt the webtoon, and if you can add some extra stuff from the light novel, do that. Or maybe just adapt the light novel. Who knows? Novel readers from Omniscient used to be a little wary of the webtoon adaptation, but at this point, pretty sure the fan base is fully on board, especially with how they handled this arc. Okay, that's good. That's definitely good. I mean, and now, yeah, not all. I will always stand by the fact. I've heard that too. Solo Leveling was loyal to the light novel. I will always stand by the fact of an adaptation, like adapting something 1-to-1, isn't necessarily the best thing. I think the perfect example of adapting something 1-to-1, and a lot of it, in a lot of instances, it doesn't adapt the series. My Hero is the perfect example of sometimes they stick to the manga too closely, and you end up with a lot of boring stuff that's happened, or a lot of still frames, and it's like no imagination, or not even no imagination. Maybe there's no time for them to even like go crazy with what they could do. And that's where like going 1-to-1 sucks. There's some things that just don't translate from paper. Like there's things that don't translate from paper to a visual medium, and then from like that visual manga medium to animation. There's things that just don't transfer over. It just doesn't work. Like when you're writing a book, a light novel, something like that, I can have a whole page of a character's mental like monologue. I can do that. Trying to monologue in a manga for an extended period of time, you end up having Hunter x Hunter, where it's just like text boxes of just dialogue. It's boring. And then in animation, like, am I really going to spend 5 minutes with this internal monologue, or am I going to try to find a way to get these feelings that this person is monologuing about and express it in a different way, in a different action, have them do something. This is why it's like it takes for you to have good people working, a good team, because they have to adapt. It's not just translating, you have to adapt it. Togashi level exposition. Dude, Togashi's the worst when it comes to it. He's the worst. At that point, you should just turn the page and it should just be actual like journal entries. Because it's not worth it spending the time to block off the stuff to draw a tiny little face and then the whole. It's not worth it. You might as well just write a manifesto or something with the exposition he would give. I remember talking with some Solo Leveling fans, and they got more attached to some characters in the anime than the webtoon. Cool. That's cool. Tyrant King. Ooh. That's a good thing though. That's a good thing. Dude, what time is it? I'm sitting here looking at how long we've been live. What time is it? I gotta go to bed. I'm tired. I'm running off for like 3 hours of sleep. It's 11:43. All right, I think I'm gonna call it here. I want to sit here and talk forever. I do. I want to sit here and talk forever, but I can't. Click the link that Alvaro dropped in there. Takes you to the Discord. You guys could chat. You guys are chatting today. I think Lachi added me. Alvaro added me. And then I got busy. I went back in and I was like scrolling and seeing black bars, and I'm just like, let me get out of here. I didn't even attempt to read what you guys were talking about, but I was like, let me get out of here. I was like, they're clearly having a great conversation. I'll leave them alone. So head over there if you haven't. You should be able to get into the Discord now. There was an issue. Pipe fixed it. Thank Pipe. If you go in the Discord, at Pipe and say thank you. She did a great job. And that's all I got. So again, next week we are going to be streaming early because my volleyball game is at 8:30 instead of 6:30. So we're gonna be streaming a couple hours early, and we're gonna take it week to week because I think every week is gonna be a different time. So it could be 6:30 one week, 8:30 one week, 7:30 another week. So I'll have to play it week by week now. So earlier next week, if you can't be there, sorry. The video, I'll make sure they go up Wednesdays, same time. So that's all I got. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Have a good rest of your week. Have a good weekend if I don't see you. And hopefully, God willing, we're back here next Tuesday for 209 of Omniscient Reader. So again, thank you. Appreciate you, and I'll see you. Peace out.